Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Brother Chris here today, and my beautiful young host on the side here is.
The Gypsy lady, Eva. Oh, you're so kind.
So,
You are
yeah.
so.
So, how are things in your area? I know your birthday was a couple weeks ago. Did you,
Yes.
and my birthday is coming up also. Did you do anything big?
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't. It was one of the biggies. I would turn 75, and
What, 57?
yeah, something like that. I get confused. It's like I say I'm a psychic, or is that psycho? I cannot keep them straight.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I didn't do anything. It was my request. I did not want a party. I did not want anything. Um, and it was just very quiet, which was nice.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, gosh.
Sometimes being quiet is so much nicer.
Yeah, and also the 4th of July happened for you guys, just like Canada Day happened for us.
Yes.
Um,
And again, we didn't do anything. In fact, we didn't even have any company. And I was talking with my mom, and I was telling her that I can remember on the 4th of July, relatives, longtime family friends on the 4th of July would be out here. They would be sleeping in the house, in the barn, in campers, the whole thing. And we had one big party.
yeah.
But,
Because
my mother is one of the last ones here.
yes, and
So
she is still young.
she's still going,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, because she just went down to Florida. What you were saying a couple episodes back,
Yes. Oh,
right? So
yes.
it's like, guys, yeah. For us, for Canada Day, we personally myself, I don't celebrate Canada Day.
You don't?
No,
Okay.
it's all because of the land that was stolen,
Okay.
right? And that's not given back. So it's Alliance Day, right?
Okay.
Is the way that we basically celebrate. Like I celebrate. But we were out at a somebody's property, but it's in a weird city's like town name. It's called Bright. Ding! The light bulb goes off. But yeah, no. So it was out in Bright. It was more or less a relaxed day for us. So
Good.
yeah, we were doing Sorry, we were vendors for that day, and yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, so a lot of great news is actually happening within the states also right now.
Oh, where do you want to start?
So it's like, gosh, so.
I
But,
mean, I I get very upset about it because the Supreme Court, I don't know if you're aware of it, just passed a ruling that uh, makes the president immune to prosecution for doing anything while he is president as an official act. And I mean, that's for all presidents. That's like a down the road type thing.
yeah,
But the court that voted it in was primarily a Trump support or Trump appointed court. And it is very scary because he can do things now as an official act and not suffer the consequences. All I can think of is karma, karma, karma.
yeah,
Where is it? And I was watching something on TV, and they had a gentleman from Germany, and of course he was too young to have gone through World War II, but he from his country's history, and he's just like shaking his head.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like over here. Just recently, I just read it though, and with with out in Alberta, a lot of people know Alberta is well known for cowboys.
Hmm.
It is marking for Canada.
Hmm.
Our person that's in charge, which is Wacko, I call him Wacko, which is Justin Trudeau, had said though that the Cowboys have nothing to do with Canada. I'm like, hello, you got to go back to school. Even though that you were an actor teacher, like a high school teacher, go back and relearn your history. Whoever taught you history did not teach you in the right way. So, and with those darn allergies, hey,
What can I
it's,
say?
yes.
What can I say?
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
heavens I'm not allergic to my kitty.
So that's like
That's all.
that's like with me with my little boy. So it's like so. But we'll be right back after this quick commercial, and we're going to be starting tonight's topic about 10 mythical American monsters. So we'll be right back after this quick commercial.
This arts and craft market at the Stratford Park Museum. 57 vendors showcasing handmade creations for the community to enjoy and purchase. Organizers say the goal of the market is to bring cultures together in peace and celebration while also exchanging knowledge.
Listen to Haunting Live on Podbean, where your host Trevor and Brother Chris from Divine Oracle Podcast sit down weekly and discuss about topics within the paranormal. This is a live call-in show that we encourage you to take part.
Alrighty, so we're back, yeah, and we're going to start with the top 10 mythical monsters. And number one was to do with last week's show, underneath the indigenous. And I don't know if Eva wants to start off with this one. I'll give this one to Eva.
All right, I don't care. Bigfoot, my favorite. And no, we're not talking about my boyfriend.
So,
He's also known as Sasquatch. I think I said it right. Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Yeah.
And there's several other names that he goes by, but those are the two most popular. Excuse me. Primarily, he is out in the Pacific Northwest area, which would include Canada, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, not really within that side though. He's also found over this area also. So, but they usually say that side. But yeah, where else is he found?
Well, he's actually found all over the United States, in one form or with one name or another. There's even a feeling that there might be a Sasquatch a Bigfoot in our little woods over here. I don't know.
It's like, gosh, well, it would be cool to have him actually pretty close to you.
Yeah, I mean that's like a quarter of a mile away, if that.
Yes.
And
so for those Canadians though that aren't too sure about a mile compared to Canadian, that's actually roughly between 2 to 2.5 kilometers away.
Yes.
So.
If that. So he is popular. I had a friend who did a lot of research on the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot, and there's a lot of rumors about him, about who and what he really is.
Yeah.
There's even the me and my aliens. There's even the idea that the Bigfoot can go from different using portals, go to different realms, dimensions, alternate universes, however you want to put it. And there's even the idea that the Bigfoot is an alien that's watching over us.
Yeah. Well,
sending reports back. I
don't
know if
another thing I've actually heard though, people do call it the hairy guy.
The hairy guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Yeah, the hairy guy, right? And it's like, gosh, so. Well, it's pretty cool though. Like, we have a little thing right in front of us, so we're basically kind of reading off of there, but we're going by our own acknowledgement though, from learning from a whole bunch of other people. But yeah, it does go back roughly to 1886 time period. What the footnotes say. That's quite long.
Yes.
So.
That is a long time, and actually, that's one of the first known reports of him. And there is, excuse me, there are stories that go back even further.
Yeah.
I remember reading apparently, one of the Spanish conquistadors, when he went up into the higher Texas area, that was reportedly had seen a Sasquatch or the footsteps of it. So even back then, which would be in the 15th century, 16th century, whatever. What did I just do?
All right, just continue on. So yeah, from that time period. Yeah.
So that's just another one.
Yeah.
And there are supposedly people who have not only got casts of the footprints of a Bigfoot, but also have blood samples, hair samples, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But none of these have really been legitimized, or maybe that's not the right word, but they've never really. It's like the photographs, some of them are kind of grainy, so you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Type thing.
So gosh. Well, I know in Georgia, I'm pretty sure it's Georgia, they have a big store. It's a museum also of Bigfoot.
Uh-huh.
Right? I've seen people go through it and everything else. It looks pretty cool. So, if you guys are ever down that way, let us know if you guys have ever been into that store / museum. I'm pretty sure it's Georgia, or else it's actually South Carolina. But it's on that side there. But yeah. Anything else you can actually add about this creature?
Not much more. Like I say, he's been around for a long while.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So our next one that we're going to look at though is called the chupacabra.
Yes. Chupacabra.
Yeah. People say it kind of looks like a dog, and it kind of looks like a wolf.
Yeah.
But isn't that still the same family though?
Well, it's like saying Bigfoot is actually a big ape.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
who's to say? Because the legends that I have heard of Chupacabra is it does look like a dog, but it walks on its hind legs.
Yeah.
So
like
draw your own conclusion.
Yeah. Like it goes after the livestock, mainly ghosts. Sorry, not goats. Ghosts. How do you say goats? How do you say that? Because of a friend of mine that goes after goats, not ghosts, but goats.
Goats.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the name means, goat sucker.
Yes, that's like so. But yeah, it is a vicious creature. I know some people have actually come across it, and they've actually taken videos of it. They've posted them actually online. But how do we know for sure if it is what they say it is?
Good question.
Right.
Good question. I think it falls into that conspiracy theory realm of what it really is.
Yeah.
The Chupacabra, now I can't say it.
Chupacabra.
It's if you talk to some people, it's been around for a long, long time, and you talk to other people, it's like, oh, I never even heard of that. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
So I had not heard it before the 1970s. I had first heard about it back in the 80s, and the person who told me about it didn't hear about it until the 70s. So I don't know. That's one of those that you got to play with for a while, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird though, because most people that have caught videos are down in Mexico.
Yes.
So now, is this really a creature from Mexico, or is it from South America, but by California side?
Until you brought that up, I never really questioned it. I just assumed it was from the Southwest. That's all.
Yeah.
And because the name is Spanish, where did the Spanish settle?
Yeah. Well, they usually say the Plymouth Rock area, but who really knows? Who really knows? It's like, gosh. So, we're gonna take a good look actually at our next one, though.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And Eve and I, we were talking about this before we went on for today's show. All right, and it's the Jersey Devil.
Yes.
So, yeah, there is so much stuff about it. Now, what would you
Oh.
say? What would you say about it, though? What you've learned?
What I've learned?
Yeah.
I first heard about it in a story that way back in Pilgrim times, I'm not exactly sure the date, one morning after it snowed, they woke up and they saw what would be hoof prints in the snow. And they were like a horse's hoof. However, instead of walking like a horse where you would see the two sides walking side by side sort of a thing, it was like a man was walking one after another in a straight line. And it just was all over the place. And if it came to a building, it was like it just kind of leaped up and continued, like took one step up and continued the stepping. It was not out of step. And it was all over. And there's been no explanation as to what this was all about. And apparently this has happened more than once. So I didn't tell you that before, but yeah, there's been other whatever reportings of the same thing. And but nobody's ever gotten any pictures of them.
Yeah. So for people who are wondering about the Jersey Devil, what it's supposed to look like though is a body of a horse. It's got wings and then like a dog face sort of style of it. And one of the old legends I know of, and I like the way that this thing is written down because it's pretty much what I was actually told, but it didn't say what the time period was. But this report that's in front of us says the 1700s, a woman in New Jersey, basically though, now what I've been told though, she was a widow, but she had so many kids, and supposedly the priest told her though her 13th child will be a devil. Now, some people say the devil, some people say it was going to be actually a demonic child, all this and that. So she actually had the 13th child, and the old legend said that I grew up with, though, that this little baby supposedly flew out the chimney because it was so hideous. I don't know if you've heard that one, Eva.
No, I had not heard that
okay.
one. Although I did hear it because it was the 13th child, it was cursed.
Yeah.
But that's about all that I had heard.
Okay. All right. But yeah, no. So again.
I take that back. There is one other that I did.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When it was to be baptized, the water, when they sprinkled the water on the child to baptize it, the water sizzled.
Okay.
And the child jumped up and ran out of the church. So I just, okay.
Yeah. So how do we, like, I love those sort of legend, like the old horse, like the dog's head, but this report, though, that's in front of us says, like, it's supposed to have the horse's head, wings like a bat, claws, right? So how do we really know what it looks like? But is this is this a legend to do with the military base that's supposed to hold it?
Oh, really?
Or is that to do with our next topic though that we're going to talk?
That's the next one. I had never heard of the Jersey Devil being associated with in anything modern.
Okay.
Which brings us to the Mothman.
Yeah. So I'll let you sort of go on with that one.
I had not heard much about the Mothman, except that it does kind of associated with World War II, that era.
Yeah.
And the latest one is there was some young people out driving, and they noticed lights in the like in the woods, and they discovered a very tall creature that resembled a man, and he had wings. And the two red lights that they had seen through the trees
Yeah.
was actually his eyes. And the beast followed them, flying, which is even more interesting because the next night there was crowds. Well, by the end of the week, let's put it that way, there were crowds of people looking for the monster, which they never did find.
Yeah. Well, one other thing though that they say though that the Mothman is supposed to be actually on a bridge. What sightings have actually reported, it's on a bridge, and it's supposed to foretell if somebody's going to die or bad news.
Ah, I did hear one other little thing about the Mothman, and you said associated with military bases,
Yeah.
but the military bases that were associated were nuclear arms,
Yes.
or at that time atomic arms.
Yeah.
And actually what it is this was a man who was exposed to the radiation, and as a result he turned to, I'm trying to remember how that went, because it was a fantastical story. He turned to someone who did like voodoo stuff, and he basically sold his soul to the devil, which is why he became the Mothman with wings and the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love those kind of stories.
That's what I was going to say. I know, see, a couple of paranormal teams actually in the States. I don't know what level of paranormal that they are, but they've gone and checked out some of the bases, try to find out, even at night. Oh yeah, one of them is actually Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures supposedly went out there and nothing. Another one they'll do with Mothman, like great show, is Mountain Monsters. Mountain Monsters went out there with they created their own cage and all this and that, and they did a show actually of the Mothman. So, and that right there, if you guys want to go through, say internet, like say YouTube, whatever, type in Mothman, you'll see what's coming across. Just like later on, we're gonna be talking about another topic though that you've even never heard of really that much of. But she was surprised of how much big this one story is. So our next topic though is going to be Wendigo.
Again.
Yeah. So if you literally look, before we start on with Wendigo, if you look at some of the American and also the indigenous, you can sort of see the pattern of what's connected with normal American legends and then the indigenous legends. There's so much connection. But yeah, we're going to jump back into Wendigo. So Wendigo, I don't know if Eva wants to sort of mention about it, since she talked about it last time.
No, you do it this time.
Okay, all right. So the Wendigo is found in the north area, actually, of Canada. Supposedly, it stands roughly 15 feet, so that's actually 4.5 meters tall, and it's supposed to actually have large eyes, claws, and it's basically drawn to human flesh. But with Wendigos, though, it is a Native American legend, sort of nowadays. And that's basically what I would say for a description of it. Now, I know you were saying a while ago, sorry to bring up, I can see it in your face. you were doing a story, but you were gonna call it Wendigo.
No, I was going to call it Winnebago.
Winnebago, okay, all right.
So is a Winnebago kind of the female version of a Wendigo?
Who knows? So,
I couldn't resist that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know me and my sense of humor.
Yeah. It's like
but it is kind of interesting when you look at some of the names that are given to these legends, and it's like they feel so familiar, but then again you look at it and says, how to say it? What? I don't even know how to say it, much less if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's like that. So, but before we wrap up the show, I'll sort of let you guys know underneath our next show we're going to be talking about the Great Spirit of Layla Roma. I think I pronounced it the wrong way. We are going to be talking about the Skunk Ape. We talked
The
about
donkey lady?
yeah, the donkey lady, which I had explained that to you about her.
Yeah, I had never heard of the donkey lady.
Right. We're going to be talking about some sort of cat.
The Wampus cat.
We're going to be talking about that. And also the one I was saying earlier that Eva kind of heard of but didn't hear much about. She's going to be looking up about this creature, and it's called the Slender Man. So.
What woman doesn't want a slender man?
Well, this guy, no. This guy, no.
No, not this one.
No. So from us to you guys have an awesome week. We will talk to you guys later. Again,
have a great one. And thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.